My name is Pastor Fritz from First Asian Baptist of Kansas City. My ID number 21960890. Specific purpose. College-age students with a diverse background. Many students come from other countries and I have had learned to learn English as a second language. The skill I am to address is the skill of language translation services for those who cannot speak English. To inform my audience on the needs of sharing dual language gift with others so they're able to assimilate in the new cultures and function day-to-day activities knowing they had an advocate be a translator. To inform my audience how the gift of translation cannot be only used to help people in the day-by-day activities as they are growing accustomed to a new culture, but it can also be used to lead people to the saving knowledge of the plan of salvation. I will tell my audience that I have something very important to tell them and that they must listen carefully to make sure they understand very details. Then since I am a trilingual, I will begin speaking a language that is not the native language of most of my audience members. Look of confusion, I'm sure, will be on their faces. I will ask my audience how they felt as I speak in the language they didn't understand. I will ask them to recall how they have felt in a situation where they didn't understand what the speaker was saying. How did that make them feel? I will inform my audience that I came to United States from Haiti to build a new life for myself and my family. I will also tell them that I speak in multiple language and often have families with school-related issues, immigration issues, tasks that may seem simple, such as making doctor's appointments. I will remind them that there is no easy task for someone who had no way of communication. I felt that as a part of this civic duty to humanity to help in the area of translation wherever possible. I have also worked as a professional translator for one of the largest school systems in our state. Whenever possible, people who speak more than one language need to provide assistance with translation for others, either on the voluntary or on compensated basis to help other people communication barriers to be able to function in the new society. Translating for other people makes people reduce the isolation, helps people with their basic needs, and lead to communication that open doors for sharing the plan of salvation. Translating for others reduce the isolation people feel whenever they move to a new country, help them assimilate into a new culture. Speaking to them in a native tongue help newcomers feel welcome. Invite them to church where the native language is spoken, helps them make friends. Introducing the newcomers to others from the same country help reduce isolation and help them assimilate in the new culture. Translating for family trying to obtain the necessary documents to enroll their children in the school, and they help for those who cannot speak English. Showing families where they receive medical services and help them financially. Assistance help those who are handicapped by language barriers. Helping those with the language barriers to find place to shop and where to pay the basic utility bills also helpful. Assisting family with issues related to immigration is also beneficial to other translation assistance. Translating for others and speaking to them in the native tongues open doors for sharing the plan of salvation. People who are receiving kind of assistance from translators are more often willing to hear about Jesus Christ from someone who has shown them the wrong and kindness of the time of need. Translators translate others develop the bond of trust, but leads to the open of the heart and soul to receive the message of salvation. Jesus has commanded us to show the kindness to everyone. as evidence in the New Testament when each man had to the gospel in their own thing. Jesus had said that the word will eventually be spread to the four corners of the earth by providing assistance through translation services. Then you are fulfilling part of the Christ commandment for believers. Whenever you use your gift of speaking multi-language for compensation or enjoyment of helping others, you can be sure that your talents will be appreciated. It is personally rewarding to help someone who will be lost and confused in the new society. Sometimes the assistance you may give could be save someone's life or helps them make the decision that will be positively impact their family. That's right there.